Hi everyone, it's Angelina, Sparkling Diva, and today I want to share a little clip about boundaries. And I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I was I was just looking at a screen, and behind me, well, I can't point really, can I? But behind me, over the above this shoulder, there is this card I got from a friend, an English friend. She was in Hawaii, and I told her, well, can you just send me a postcard from Hawaii? I've never gotten a postcard from Hawaii. And actually, it was just a joke, but she did it anyway, and I was really happy. So I was just, before I started the recording, I was looking at the postcard, it being in the video now, but I saw something else a bit higher up, and I thought, what is that? And I was just like, and then, and then I realized it was just an icon of the telephone. I thought it was something on my cupboard. I thought, what the hell is on my cupboard? Yeah, okay. I can be a bit silly at times, but that was why I was still giggling a little bit, and still am. Anyhow, boundaries. Very important to have healthy boundaries, of course, in life. And also, for many people, very difficult to have healthy boundaries in life. Some people haven't a clue what their boundaries are. Some people have a clue, they haven't even a clue what boundaries are. I was like that years ago when a friend told me, well, you really have to be careful, mind your boundaries. And I was thinking, what boundaries? What do you mean boundaries? What are boundaries? I didn't even know. I hadn't ever thought about it. So that is possible as well. Maybe you are like that too, that you are now thinking, boundaries? What the heck are boundaries? Well, in short, boundaries is just are your set of rules of what you find acceptable in life, the way people treat you, and what you will accept, and what is okay with you, and what is not. And then it sounds so easy, right? It sounds so easy, just a set of rules, right? But then you have to come up with it, and then many people are like, I don't know. I really don't know. Right? And well, for me, like in the past, I didn't know either, and then I started thinking about it, and then I realized I do know when I don't want something, when in the moment when it's happening to me, but in a way, then it's already too late, because then it's already happening, and then to then stand up for yourself in that moment is usually very difficult, right? If you don't have any boundaries, and then it happens, and you feel, oh, this doesn't feel good to me, then you usually also do not have the courage or inner strength to then stand up like, well, I'm really sorry, but this is not okay, I don't like this. Then you just let it happen because you're so overwhelmed, and then later on you beat yourself up over it that you allowed that to happen, and then you feel crap because you should have said something, but you just didn't. And that's the thing with boundaries, is that um, even when you know your boundaries, or at least a few boundaries, then the next problem that arises with that is that you also have to be able to maintain them. Right? So at some point, you can know, like, well, this is not acceptable to me, and that is my boundary. And know that that is actually a very healthy boundary, because it's for your highest good to not accept that. But then, what if it does happen anyway? Then what? How do you react? Then what do you do? Then you need to have the confidence and the inner strength to actually speak up and stand up for yourself. And then I found that very difficult for a long time, meaning that I then still allowed it to happen because I didn't have the guts to stand up for myself. And then afterwards I felt shitty because I knew I should have stood up for myself. I should have stood my ground, and I didn't. And then then it made me feel as if I'd failed. I'd failed myself. And then you get in this negative downward spiral. And that doesn't help, right? That doesn't help your self-image, your self-confidence, etc. to next time stand up for yourself. And so, yeah, it is a tricky thing. In a way, it's a cycle. You need to have enough love of self. You need to respect yourself and value yourself, as in feel that you are worthy of not accepting everything. You are worthy of good things, people treating you with respect. But in order to get that, you first have to respect yourself. And so you need all that, the self-love, the self-respect, knowing you're worthy, and really not just knowing, but feeling from your toes that you are worthy and, and lovable and all that. And from that you get inner strength. And then from all these things together that mix together, then you naturally can have healthy boundaries. So it's all connected. The problem is that people without healthy boundaries usually, because it's connected, lack in self-esteem. So they don't love themselves enough, they don't respect themselves enough. So it's somewhere you got to break that cycle, because in a way it is a cycle. And you have to break that cycle somewhere and somehow. So I've got a few thingies for you that you can do to begin with, and that's not about setting boundaries right away, because I feel that actually is, well, sort of like the last step, because first you have to work on self-love and self-respect, and without that you just cannot have healthy boundaries. It's just so difficult. And even if you then would know some boundaries, then you have the problem that you don't feel strong enough, you don't feel confident enough to stand up for yourself when someone, crosses your boundaries. So the beginning is basically the first step is the self-love and the self-esteem and all that. And from there, if you've got that sussed a little bit, from there the boundaries can come. That's the next step. So what you can do to build on more self-love and a better image of yourself, a better feeling of yourself, you can begin to look at things that do work out, the things that you do well, that you're good at, the positive things. And it can be small things, really small things, and don't have to be huge stuff like I don't know, like a miracle or anything. Just small things as well. Like for instance, I'm really good at cooking potatoes. I'm really good at frying meat. That might sound stupid, but these little things do matter. You have to start acknowledging all these things you're good at. So start looking at that. Start looking at the positive things. What are you good at? Maybe you're really good at problem solving. Maybe you're good at bookkeeping. Maybe you're good at gardening. Whatever. Just whatever. It doesn't matter how small it is. Just start looking at all these small things. And it's also good to make a list of these things. That can be really helpful, because then it's visual. And when you write it down, it sort of shifts things in your system as well. When you just think about it, it doesn't have that deep effect, and when you write it down, it does. So it could also be very good to make a list of all these things that you're good at, no matter how small. Maybe you're good at doing the dishes, I don't know, or maybe you excel at making a latte. Just all these little things. Big things, small things, anything you're good at, and write them down and keep that list and add to it. Keep adding to it. Every time that something comes to mind, write it down on that list. Also compliment yourself for these things when you do them well. Compliment yourself. And you can do that out loud. You can, if you're with people, you can do it. You can think it. Start complimenting yourself. That's starting to appreciate yourself, starting to validate yourself. Is beginning to fill your cup with self-love. And all these things matter. They really, really do matter. It's the small things, the small steps that actually get you that far ahead in life, And another thing you can do, which might already have to do with a bit of a boundary, setting a boundary, it's a small step, okay? Take time for you every day. It doesn't matter how busy you are, whether you've got a family and children, you must take time for yourself each day. Or if that really is too much, then do it every weekend, and then set a day, preferably a time as well. But it's better if you can do it every day. And it doesn't have to be long. You don't have to take an entire hour or an afternoon or whatever. Just 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes is enough to at least begin with, right? And then that is time for you. Then you do not spend that time on the phone with a friend who is needs your advice or whatever. That's not you time. It's really for you. So you don't spend it on a partner. You don't spend it on your family, on doing household work or whatever. No, it's spending time on you. And if you don't know what to do, because you're not used to doing that, then just sit there. Then don't do anything for 10 minutes, then just sit there. Or maybe make that list that I just talked about with all the things that you're actually really good at, because that's also for you, right? And another thingy, and then I'm gonna call it enough, call it a day with the video. What you can also do, many people who haven't healthy boundaries and suffer from low self-esteem, they are very, very demanding of themselves. So stop doing that. Stop being so demanding of yourself. I think I said that in another video as well the other day that I posted on my page. So just think of what would you advise a friend in a similar situation, and then usually your expectations of that friend are much lower, much more realistic, more loving, and just nicer, healthier, better expectations than the ones that you set for yourself. And that's another thing that you can do. That's also building self-love, filling your cup with self-love, and it's also very important to stop doing that. Don't demand so much of yourself. Don't expect so much of yourself, Be more realistic, and so start comparing that to what you expect of someone else that you really care about, like a good friend or your child or whatever, right? Okay, I hope that helps. So please let me know if it does help and you do like it. Like it, give me these thumbs and share and comment, whatever, I like that. And because then I get this exchange with you, and that makes me happy. That's what I'm doing this for, right? So yeah, wishing you a wonderful day, and just do these things. It makes you feel better. It will help you. I'm certain of it. Okay, bye.